Hello. Today, let's go through that one single question that comes in CAT, which is of a word usage, which some people also call it as a phrasal verb. Now, if we have to really understand what is this pattern of a question, it is reasonably tricky, looks very easy. Say for example, there could be a given word which is break. By catching hold of that word, there will be 4 sentences which will be given. Each one of them will be somewhere playing on the trickiness of making a phrasal verb out of it. That means if I say there is a word which is break, meaning changes the moment the preposition following it is changed. I could just say it's break, or I can say break up, break down, break in, break into, break something in, break up. Now each one of them means something very different. Sentences using these kind of different meanings would be made. Yes, as I told you, it looks easy, but it will start getting complicated only because the meanings are close and the prepositions are something which a normal eye might just want to give a miss. So only a careless mistake is possible. For example, if we drill down with the same word break itself, a breakdown would mean two meanings. One could be a vehicle breakdown, which is stopping functioning of the vehicle, or the other breakdown could be just crying out loud or probably getting upset. If I put in these two into sentences, I could say our car broke down at the side of the highway, or I could say the woman broke down when the police told her that her son had died. Either which ways, it is the same phrasal verb, two contextually different meanings. If I just take the same breakdown, put them a little away and say break something down. When I say break something down, means to divide into smaller parts. For example, our teacher broke the final project down into 3 separate parts so that evaluation becomes easy. Here, breaking something down is breaking into smaller parts. Break in, on the other hand, would mean to forcefully enter a building. Say for example, somebody broke in last night and stole our stereo. On the other hand, a small addition from that break in is break into something. Now here also break into something is also entering forcibly. The firemen had to break into the room to rescue the children. All of these are correct usages. If I separate that break and in by putting break something in, when I say break something in, that means wear something a few times so that it doesn't look or feel new. Say for example, I need to break these shoes in before we run next week. The shoe would have bit this character who is making such a statement that I need to break these shoes in before we run next week. Just to make it more comfortable, it doesn't look as new. On the other hand, break in also would mean to interrupt. The TV station broke in to report the news of president's death. That would mean interrupt. Break up is something your age would be really comfortable with, that is end of a relationship. Break out would be to escape. We use it generally for the prisoners. The prisoners broke out of jail when the guards weren't looking, is something which we are familiar with. Now here, because the word following break becomes so important, the word both put together, that is break and the preposition, is called a phrasal verb. Let's look at one more example so that we understand the same usage. We use the word put, a very casual word, but put something down, put someone down, put something off, put something out, put something together, put something on, all of them mean something different. If I say put something down, that means I'm just trying to put something that I'm holding on the surface or a floor. Say for example, you can put the groceries down on the kitchen counter. Put someone down, on the other hand, means to insult somebody. The students put the substitute teacher down because his pants were too short. This means to insult or to bring somebody down. Put something off means to postpone. We are putting off our trip until Jan because of the hurricane. Good one. Putting something off means to postpone. Put something out, generally used for a fire, to extinguish the fire. The neighbors put the fire out before the firemen arrived. Put something together means to assemble, or probably generally used for projects or some kind of an assignment. On the other hand, to put up with somebody means to tolerate. One more such one is put something on. Put something on is used for clothing or accessories on your body. Say for example, don't forget to put on your new earrings for the party. This is put something on for clothing or for an accessory. Now, how will the questions be formed? See, the questions could be formed in the form of a word followed by 4 sentences where the word is being used. We have to find out either the correct one or the incorrect one depending on the instructions. Let's pick up one of them with the word burn as the word given for usage. 4 sentences that I am taking as an example. She's burning off with the desire to marry a millionaire. That's the first sentence. Second one, excessive drinking has burned him off. Third one, the fire was burning off cheerfully. I repeat, the fire was burning off cheerfully. Fourth one, you've burned the corn down. Here we are supposed to find out the correct sentence. Let's evaluate one sentence at a time. If we consider the burning off with the desire to marry a millionaire, here it should have been burning for. The correct usage would have been burning for, which means to wish ardently or to desire for something. The second one, for drinking, it should have ideally been burn himself out rather than burn him off. Burn himself out means to ruin one's health through overwork or through excessive drinking in this case. The fire was burning off cheerfully. The correct usage would have been burning away because it just means continues to burn. On the other hand, you've burned the corn down. Burned down or burnt down, both of them mean exactly the same, and this fits into the expression. Therefore, the answer we are searching for is the fourth option. If we pick up another example, say this one was a word followed by the usages. A couple of other exams might have separate patterns altogether. If we talk about those separate patterns, we'll just evaluate a small fill in the blank. Say for example, we need to a blank, we need to a blank, a plan to meet our revenue targets for the year. The 4 options: chalk in, chalk for, chalk out or chalk for. Here, chalk out means to draw the outline of or to plan out, and therefore that will exactly fit into the context. We need to chalk out a plan to meet our revenue targets for the year. This is also an example of how a phrasal verb could be asked. In some portions it's called the word usage, in some places it is called the phrasal verb. Either which ways, what is expected is that you come across all these familiar looking words and try fitting in prepositions with them. Say for example, call, put, walk, talk, bring, break, all of these followed by some prepositions will change the meaning. This is where extensive reading or a meticulous approach toward remembering these phrasal verbs will pay off a lot. Best of luck.